Hi, my name is Sarah Cho, and this is a continuation of the analysis of the novel Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. So starting at chapter 10, this is when the narrator is starting his new job at the Liberty Paint plant. His first job is to create this white paint that's supposed to be thick and paint-like. However, the narrator messes this up by adding the wrong chemical, and he creates 75 cans of this gray, liquidy substance. And so he is later punished, I guess, by Kimbrough, the manager of that department, and the narrator is sent into a different department, the engineering department to be exact. And so, in the engineering department, the narrator is seen as a threat to the head manager of the engineering department. However, the head of the engineering department, he is very paranoid, and he always has a thought of somebody is trying to steal his job all the time. And so when the narrator gets to his department, he is freaking out. He is just nervous that the narrator will take his job, and so he is just very cautious of the narrator. And so later on in that chapter, the narrator and the head of the engineering department get into a brawl, and there is an accident due to a tank explosion, which puts the narrator into the hospital of the factory hospital. So later on in chapter 11, the narrator is unconscious in the factory hospital. He is surrounded by a white medical staff, and so in this scene, the narrator is under electrical shock therapy. And in this case, and in this event, the theme of white superiority is dominant. And it shows how whites feel like they can just do anything, and they're just superior over blacks. In this case, the white medical staff, they were performing this electrical therapy test on the narrator without consent, without permission, without letting him even know until he was waking up. And so, on the next slide, the quote that I pulled says, "But what of his psychology? The patient will live as he has to live, and with absolute integrity. He'll experience no major conflict of motives. And what is even better, society will suffer no traumata on his account." And so because of his social class, because of his race, because he is black, this quote is basically saying he is a nobody in society, that no one will care if anything bad does happen. And so that kind of gives them a sense of right, a sense of just doing the right thing, because they feel superior to the narrator who's black. In chapter 17, this is shortly after the narrator wakes up, and he immediately just leaves the hospital, and he goes through the subway. He's on the street now, and he faints. There are people around him. However, a woman named Mary, she takes action. She takes care of the narrator, and later on she offers her home to the narrator, which the narrator takes her up on that offer. And so in this event, the theme that I saw was Southern hospitality, and that even though Mary didn't know the narrator personally before this accident, Mary was still open-armed. Her arms are open to just receiving the narrator and just taking care of him, because she knew that he was going through hardships. And then next. And so I jumped to chapter 16. A little before chapter 16 is when the narrator joins the Brotherhood. He joins the Brotherhood, who is majority white with a few African American members as well. The narrator gains a lot of publicity, a lot of fame in a sense, and he gives a speech in front of the Brotherhood, and I quote, "Sisters, brothers, we are the true patriots, the citizens of tomorrow's world. We'll be dispossessed no more." And so in this quote, it's basically it's a speech of equality. It's a speech of equality of blacks and equality of whites. However, the thing that that occurs or can be seen within the speech is the colorblindness of the narrator. When I refer to colorblindness, it is not a physical, it's not a literal color blindness. However, it is a color blindness of race. And so the narrator cannot truly see his own race and how it's different than whites. He doesn't realize that his opportunities are not the same as whites in society. And so he is colorblind to pretty much most of his audience. And so next slide. Later on in chapter 16 and 18, 16 to 18, the narrator gains a lot of fame, and the Brotherhood, they don't like it very much because they think that he's gaining all this fame for himself, for self-advantage. And so they get threatened by that. In my opinion, I feel like the Brotherhood sent him to a different department because the Brotherhood was threatened by just the power that he was gaining and just the publicity that he was gaining as well. And so the Brotherhood, the leaders, they were getting very paranoid about that, and they couldn't let that happen because they had to keep the reputation and they had to keep white superiority over black inferiority. And so they send him to a different department, and later on, the narrator comes back to the Brotherhood, and he's kind of suspicious that the Brotherhood is trying to get rid of him. And so, I will end this video here, and please watch my next video, where I will conclude my analysis of Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. Thank you.